So welcome to the Transportation and Energy presentation for EnviroStars. Again, trying to get everyone just on board with the different audit groups. EnviroStars, to begin, it's the free one-stop hub for Washington businesses to get help and information and recognition for green, sustainable actions in their workplace. The recognition process is that the business registers, completes an application that's done online through our dashboard, EnviroStars dashboard, and they fill out different core and elective actions. There are 3 different kind of thresholds or tiers for those, and we'll be talking about some of the core actions in both the energy and the transportation measure sections today. And then a site visit is conducted usually. That's done by the audit groups within the region. And so another thing we'll be really talking about today. Then they get an ecology compliance check, and then they get recognized if everything looks good. That we'll get started. Madeline will kick us off with the energy.
Great. Hey, everyone. I'm Madeline Kostic. For those that I haven't met, I'm a program manager at Seattle City Light, and I manage our commercial lighting programs and our small business program. You can go to the next slide, Christy. So in terms of what's included in energy, it's pretty broad. The graphic on the right shows kind of the all the various categories that things that businesses can do fall into, but the main goal of the energy audit group is to help businesses reduce their energy consumption so that they can reduce their bills. And then we do also have some checklist items around renewable energy as well. For the top business benefits associated with doing energy actions, the biggest one obviously is reducing their operating costs. So as they reduce their energy, they are reducing what they have to pay on their electricity or gas bill. Also, there's some non-energy benefits. Just in general, it can improve the comfort for staff and customers when they upgrade their systems so they can have better temperature control, the lighting quality can be better, and a variety of other things. And then another kind of less discussed non-energy benefit that's really important for small businesses is in general, it can enhance the customer experience. So there's been lots of studies done showing how just swapping out LED lighting can increase sales for a lot of business types, particularly those in food service or merchandising. If you just think about yourself when you walk into a business and it's got really funky lighting, and you're looking at the salad bar and you're like, ooh. So, and if you think about that, having some, higher quality lighting that makes the food look more appetizing, that can have a really high impact, and LED lighting goes a long ways to helping with that. You can go to the next slide, Christy. And so in terms of services can be offered, so almost all energy utilities offer incentives to help businesses convert to more energy efficient equipment or lighting. And then at least Seattle City Light and Puget Sound Energy, which are the two biggest, the 2 energy utilities that serve the most customers in the EnviroStars group, they offer free installation of lighting and other energy efficient equipment specifically to small businesses. And so that's a really great opportunity for businesses to take advantage of right now as well. And then virtual energy assessment. This has gained some more popularity in the era of social distancing, but that's what the image is at the bottom of the slide. But essentially with consumption data that we have on our customers combined with a short 15-minute conversation with the business owner or someone else familiar with the business, we can provide a lot of insights to the customer in terms of what's driving their energy costs and help them understand where are going to be the highest impact ways to reduce energy. And then also renewable energy credits. So businesses can opt into voluntary renewable energy credits. It's going to be different across, depending on what service territory they are for energy, for electricity. And I obviously know the most about Seattle City Light service territory, but they basically pay, a small amount on their bill to support renewable energy generation, or businesses, if they install solar. They can also have, of course, my dog is barking since I'm giving a presentation, but they can also have some good bill benefits to that as well. And both are worth 15 points. Come here. EnviroStars checklist. So that helps them get a long ways to getting the EnviroStars recognition. Go to the next slide. So when you're talking to a small business, in terms of what are the top 3 questions that you may get, the biggest one probably that you might hear from businesses is, why is my bill so high? And so despite in our region, we actually have pretty low energy rates. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna let him out and see if that helps. Okay. But generally, we want to encourage customers, if they have a high energy bill, particularly in the winter, they may get a surprise bill because they forget how much they consume if they're electrically heated. Definitely want to tell them to get in touch with their energy utilities so that we can find ways to help them manage those. And then you might also get businesses asking if there are incentives or rebates available, and that's, generally the answer is going to be yes, depending on what service territory they're in. But most utilities offer incentives to help customers change to more efficient equipment. And then, businesses obviously want to know kind of the bottom line, how much money are they going to save if they make an investment into more energy efficient equipment? And it's really hard to provide a kind of like general number that you can throw out there, because businesses are so different in terms of how they're using energy now and how they could change their energy use. But, typically what we say for lighting is that you could save up to 20%. Honestly, if they have incandescent lighting, they could probably save up to like 60% on their energy bill. So it really varies. But the bottom line is that they can save money when they're saving energy. And then the top 3 actions that we recommend, and so these are all aligned with kind of the tier 1 core actions on the checklist for becoming an EnviroStars recognized business. But tracking their energy usage is always a good thing, and there's lots of free things that businesses can do to reduce their energy usage that utilities don't provide incentives for, but they're just good things for businesses to be keeping in mind. So turning off your lights when they're not in use, looking at what your thermostat set points are. And then typically we say keep doors and windows closed. Obviously with COVID, there's the public health recommendations are a little bit different, but if businesses are keeping their doors and windows open for ventilation, then we definitely encourage them to keep an eye on where they're setting their heating and their cooling, so they're not just wasting that heating and cooling out the door and window. Maintaining or replacing your equipment is always a good idea. And then the biggest call to action is to get in touch with the energy utility. And I know that's kind of an annoying call to action when you're meeting with a small business owner or a business owner to tell them that they should just call their utility. But it's really, there's no one size fit all approach for businesses, since there's such a diversity of how they're using energy now. And the utility service territories also are going to have different things that they offer for businesses. So it's hard to just kind of say, oh, here's one thing that you should be doing. But definitely tell them to get in touch with their utility. And I linked to some additional kind of good tips to have from Puget Sound Energy and Seattle City Light in the presentation here. You can go to the next slide. Thanks. Okay. And then, so the last one is just if there are things when you're on site or talking with a small business owner, things that you can look for. And as I mentioned in previous slides, there's a ton, but I think the most obvious thing, if you're not necessarily a energy subject matter expert, is to look at lighting. So these are some of our kind of our most common suspects that we see that are going to have the biggest bang for their buck if they upgrade. And so just taking a look at lighting and at the lighting quality, is it really orange or really blue? Is it blinking or anything like that? It's probably not LED if those things are happening. And so they can probably save a lot of money by converting. And especially if you're visiting, the smaller small businesses, like the micro businesses, a lot of them haven't had an opportunity to upgrade lighting yet. And so they're going to definitely have the biggest opportunity for savings. And then just in general, outdated equipment, if their lights are on 24/7, if the doors or windows are open, although obviously with the caveat of COVID, those are just other things to be looking out for. And that is just repeating the tier 1 core actions. So these are the things that all businesses are required to do in order to get the EnviroStars recognition. So they're pretty they're pretty straightforward, and you'll see that the kind of only thing that they really have to do that we would be able to monitor is getting in touch with us. And that's again really important for the energy utility so that we can provide them some more customized assistance and set them up with incentives as applicable. I think that's all for energy, Christy.
Okay, great, awesome. And now I think we'll move over to Rocco.
Good afternoon. I'm Rocco DeVito. I'm a customer relationship manager at King County Metro. I work with businesses of all sizes in the Puget Sound area around transportation. You can go to the next slide. Um, First off, I was talking about different types of business benefits around transportation. Some of the benefits include saving money. This is both for employees and employers. Providing pre-tax commuter benefits to employees can help reduce businesses' payroll taxes. Also, helping support employees getting to work can save the employee money. Transportation is one of the most highest household expenses, so assisting with that can really help employees. We find that actual transit benefits are some of the most popular benefits employees in the Puget Sound receive. They're well liked and received by lots of different types of businesses in the region. If you have to pay for parking costs, providing transportation benefits and helping reduce single occupancy vehicle rides can really save in parking as well if you don't have to pay for passes for those employees. Next slide. And around transportation, there are many different options. It's not just about paying for transit benefits, but you can look at transit, carpooling, van pooling, biking, walking, and then including helping employees not take trips. We provide assistance for telework and compressed work week information as well. A compressed work week, for those who are unfamiliar, this could be working 4 10s, so just working 4 days a week, 10 hours a day, or something that's popular at, like, for example, at King County, we do a compressed work week where you work 9 days and you get every other Friday off. And so some folks have found benefits in that for their employees. Next slide. Um, Now getting to some of more common questions we get. First, what can a small business do to support employee commutes? As there's a variety of options with transit benefits. Through this summer, there is a subsidy through Washington State Department of Transportation to provide up to half off of transit benefits that businesses can take advantage of. There are support for exploring telework, if that is something your business can do. There's also smaller things, and the second really and related question are there things that we can do to help that don't cost us very much? There's a lot of businesses that are squeezed and a lot of different business types that there's not a lot of extra money to provide transportation benefits, but there are a lot of simple things a business can do to help save money for their employees and themselves. Providing a way for employees to save some of their salary pre-tax for transportation costs can reduce your payroll taxes, but also provide employees an easy way of setting aside a little bit of money to pay for their transportation needs. And this includes paying for transit passes, but also for paying for parking as well. You can also, again, there's incentive options, providing just yearly information to employees about transportation options, or providing those to new hires can give employees ways of finding new ways of doing transportation. And finally, there's lots of businesses who are obviously not near transit, different ways of supporting employees could be helping match carpool. So a simple thing is putting up a map and allowing people to put up pins near where they live so that people can find people to partner with to take turns driving to work. You can also provide HOV parking at your facility to encourage folks to be able to take advantage of those and maybe park closer to the office. 3 actions that you can do to help support transportation are, again, providing information and education on transportation options in the area, and to provide that information to new hires. There is a commute trip reduction planning. This for larger businesses, there's a state law that helps businesses to help help employees to get to work without driving alone. If you are affected by that, I help work on that, and we can help support you in meeting those goals set by the state. Or there are options in local transportation management associations that can also help with this kind of information. Next slide. Here are some ways that we can provide information to you. We have commute trip reduction services for larger businesses of over 100. Transportation management associations may also have programs that we can help connect you with. For example, Bellevue helps businesses to purchase Orca cards, and as provides consulting to businesses looking to encourage green transportation habits in their office. There are pre-tax commute benefits and trainings that we can provide through local partners that can help you set up a pre-tax benefit program. We have small business incentives for up to 50% off transit benefits through the state that we can help connect you with, and also free telework consulting services for employers. These are free webinars put on by King County on a regular basis that we can also help connect you with. Thank you. Core actions for EnviroStars are help to adopt transportation programs to encourage employees to use transportation methods other than driving alone to work. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, both of you, for that. Let me stop sharing my screen here. And now I'm just opening it up. We have about 10 minutes here. So if anyone would like to ask any questions, Madeline and Rocco, you can definitely answer any of those. So feel free to either drop them in the chat and I can read them, or just unmute yourself and ask the questions.
I have a question for Rocco. This is Cameron with the City of Shoreline. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I'm just curious. This has come up with like a small construction business in our city. If you have an example of what a quote transportation program could look like at a a small business that isn't eligible for some of those, like a CTR program.
Sure. I think there are many things from the CTR program that folks can use regardless of their size. Really, at the core of CTR is making sure information is available. One of the few things is to appoint someone at the business who can answer transportation questions and provide those resources. Preferably, that person can also help send that information, be it a one-sheet page to new employees to get them started. And yeah, there's also plenty of resources as far as from Metro around different transportation services, as well as schedules and things like that you can provide to really help employees connect with different transportation options.
Cameron says thanks in the chat. Any other questions?
Hi there. Can you hear me there?
Mhm.
This is Ed from Whatcom County. Question for Madeline. When you approach businesses about switching to LED lights, sometimes LEDs sometimes have a lot of white light. Do you ever get the comment from businesses that maybe the LEDs are too bright? And if you do get that question, how do you respond?
Yeah, so I think there's still a little bit of, just from LED lighting has come such a long way from when it was first came out. And so a lot of people still imagine kind of the previous lighting quality that the first generation of LED lights had. So part of it is just showing them what LED lighting looks like, and that, and unfortunately South City Light's not in Whatcom County, so I can't help you. But for South City Light territory, since we do on-site installations, they'll bring different types of LED lighting to kind of show the customer show the small business owner what lighting temperature or quality they prefer. But oftentimes too, with converting to LED, you can do delamping, so you don't need as many lights as you would. It's not like a one-for-one replacement going from a different technology. Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, would it be helpful to have like some kind of one pager that just shows the different types of LED lighting available?
Yeah, that might be helpful. Yeah, it's something we can share with businesses. Sure. There's the options in the LED world, per se. Sure.
Yeah, I can see what we have at CLC Light or the other member agencies, and pull something together for everyone else to share with businesses.
Yeah, and like I said, maybe I can contact my local Puget Sound Energy rep and get some more information from them, or
Puget
connect.
Yeah, Puget Sound Energy
Okay.
is doing direct installations too, so they also can.
Okay.
They can visit businesses on site. I'm pretty sure they're doing it during COVID as well. They paused
Sure.
it for a while, but I think they restarted it, following all the social distance guidelines and everything.
Great.
So they should be able to visit businesses on site too, and I imagine can kind of talk them through the options. But when we do direct install, we would never install something a customer doesn't like. We
Sure.
want to make
Of
sure they're
course.
getting the same or better lighting quality.
Yeah. Awesome. Good deal. Great. Thank you.
Yep. No problem.
Well, if nobody else, I know we're a bit early here, so please, yeah, if you have any more, just feel free to jump in and interrupt me. But if nobody does have questions, then I guess the best thing to do would be, if you find that you have any more later, feel free to oh, here's a follow-up question. Follow-up question for Rocco. Do you have a good link or one-pager on transportation programs for small businesses that could help a business start a transportation program?
We can definitely provide one. I don't know if we have one right this moment, but we can put that together for you. I'll put my email in the chat and we can communicate about that.
Great question. Yeah, and if anyone needs that contact information, it sounds like Rocco's going to put, yep, there's Rocco's in the chat. And then Madeline, maybe you can drop yours in the chat as well. And then if anyone misses that for any reason, you can definitely reach out to me as well. I'm the one who originally sent the scheduling email out, and then I can connect you with the right person. If there aren't any more questions, then I'd say you get 5 minutes back in your day. If you need anything, I'm thinking, I'm recording the presentation, so I will be downloading it. And then if you would like a link to it or just a copy of it, let me know, and I will send that to you. Otherwise, thank you all so much for coming. Have a great rest of your day.
Great. Thank you, Chrissy. Thank you.